Back to Arise Prime Time, where we offer perspectives on the news and talking points of the day with me, Sulaiman Alede. Well, we're still looking at the resignation, the sudden resignation of the APC chairman, Abdullahi Adamu. Let's get analysis from our top commentators. Joining me in the studio is Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. He's the Deputy Dean of the Postgraduate School at Bayes University in Abuja. Also is the journalist, political affairs commentator, and Arise News analyst, Dr. Constance Ikokwu. Good to see you both, and thanks for your time. And well, this is one moment we just had with Cletus Obu. First, give us a sense of what you gleaned from his commentary as it relates to the resignation first of Abdullahi Adamu.
Let me start by saying that he is a very feisty and loyal party member. You know,
I felt that.
The guns were blazing and he was taking no prisoners. But he said so many things that revealed the state of the party, right? He suggested that the chairman was almost forced to resign. Not of his own accord. He is not going away of his own accord. That's what I gleaned from the conversation. And we haven't seen the resignation letter, have you? You know, we just heard from the party that the chairman has resigned. And I think the chairman is biding his time because the president is not in the country. All this is happening when the commander-in-chief, who is also partly leader of the party, is not around. So there's a lot going on. The way that one can interpret this is that it's pure politicking. There's nothing out of the ordinary happening here. It's a new government, there are alignments and realignments, marking political turf, you know, consolidating one's territory, making sure that you want to control the structure of the party, making sure that the people that are loyal to you are in charge. I think that's all that is going on right now. So let me stop here so we can talk about it more.
You know, listening to Dr. Ikokwu, one of the key things I could get from her is that Cletus Obu said a whole lot without saying them in words. If you agree, perhaps we should start by looking at that.
I think Honorable Cletus is an orator, no doubt. You know, one who is brilliant in political pyrotechnic, and of course he brought it to bear, defending his party, the APC. I wasn't expecting anything less, you know. But again, like Constance said, you know, what we're witnessing is not a big deal. You know, it's just a confidence crisis, a crisis of trust that we're seeing snowballing. It's telling us again that the political turf is a very slippery, very fluid turf, you know. And of course, if you're occupying any political position, like a party chairman, you know, there's a constant banana peel around you, and you can fall off. And if you look at it generally, it is not only the APC chairmanship position that is bedeviled with this constant musical chairs. Even the PDP often witness it as well. We just saw the exiting of Ayu. So it's a constant thing. It's not surprising, really. It's just about trust. And of course, it tells us again that in politics, you know, it is very difficult for you to be forgiven, you know, when there's an infraction, so to say. And maybe we can also say that there could be different kinds of infraction. You could survive it depending on who has a bigger power than yourself and who want to use, you know, his or her power to undo you. In this instance, we supposedly, though, these are conjectures we are making, political permutations, we're not too sure because many of them are not talking because they are very mature people holding sensitive offices. We're talking about the president, we're talking about the chairman. You know, we are not here, we're not likely to hear directly from them. But the sense we are making is that, yes, we had somebody who preferred a candidate in the past, you know, and of course, we do not also, we're not also asking questions whether he did it alone or whether he did it with some people at the commanding height of the party then, you know. But he is the fourth person now, as the case could be. But this thing happened more than a year ago. One would have thought that it should have been, because they won the election, one would have thought that all those things that happened in the pre-election stage will have been forgiven or will have been forgotten such that they will move forward. But the lesson here now is that politicians hardly forget. They can keep things against you, and whenever it's time, whenever they think that they want to use it against you, they bring it up and slam it. That's just what I think has emerged in the circumstance. And overall, it's going to be a storm in a teacup, where one party chairman resigning, another one coming in. There's no big deal. The system will continue, especially in a situation where they are controlling the state machinery at the moment, where they are the party in power at the moment. So it's not going to be of so much effect, The only loser in the circumstance is the chairman that has just resigned, his loyalists, who are probably thinking that on account of his occupying that position, they will leverage on it for them to get some placements into positions in government. So they are the ones that will probably be feeling bad. But for Adamu himself, like Mr. Kletu said, it's an experience. He's a rounded person, former governor, former this, former that. 76 years old man, septuagenarian. He's a complete man. So the remaining is just, they're just bonuses. So I'm not sure he will go to bed crying.
Well, as you said, Dr. Constance, we've not seen a resignation letter. But again, quickly here, he doesn't look like he acted alone. I kept pushing, subtly asking Cletus to tell us if this is just a case of a fall guy. We had a president who was also the party leader at that point in time. He never chastised openly, even though Cletus has said that he did that, perhaps a closed door. So speak to us on what we may see in the days to come, because this is just Adamu and Omishore. Perhaps there are other lieutenants.
There is a backstory to all of this. What is currently going on is taking charge of the party. The president has taken charge of the leadership of the National Assembly. He will move at every step to make sure that he's in control. He's the president, so he wants what he wants, and it's normal in a presidential political system, especially in this part of the world. The backstory, he alluded to it, that this has happened from the time that Abdullahi Adamu was chairman of the party. He was a candidate of former President Muhammadu Buhari. And of course, he didn't support the candidacy of this current president. Although at the end of the day, he worked for the party, fell in line, he worked for the party candidate, and they have won the election. And you also mentioned that several times, pointing to the fact that he was the national chairman that led them to victory, even it's not the job of just himself. But the point here being that he's a chairman that was for another regime, another administration. The president wants his own chairman. It's not only the president, it's also the president's camp. And it's something that happens in political systems. You want to work with people that are loyal to you. You want to be sure of the people that are backing you. You want that, in this kind of system. So that's what is currently going on. Chairman Adamu is 76 years old. He's an old political warhorse. And in a way, you can say that he is a contemporary of the current president politically, because they served as governors between 1999 and 2007. At the same time, they were both governors. He has been a minister of, I think, Works and Housing. He has been a senator for more than 10 years. And he's done all sorts of things. So at the end of the day, it's not a bad deal to retire, and go home. After all, the younger ones are asking to be let into the political system. We need more young people to be given space. We need to open up the space for younger people to take charge. So it's not only about Chairman Adamu. Many more people that are at that age, they should be given way.
Well, Professor Adeniyi, this thing about forgiveness and getting to forget things, especially leading up to the election. Let's look at what this means specifically for the president. There were a lot of other people who actually were not too friendly, politically speaking, leading up to his emergence as the party candidate. Recall even in Ogun State, there was this big bat between himself and Governor Dakpo Abiodun. So are we likely to now say that this party is on a mission to actually whip in every party member in line who have perhaps erred leading up to that primaries?
I don't think so, because that would be a very dangerous path to take, you know. And of course, you know what it is when you're unable to forgive. If you're bothered about revenge, it's not just ignoble, it is very, very undignifying. And it just means that it will mean that you're not going to be able to concentrate on progress. You're bothered about avenging imperfections against you, or those who have committed one kind of infraction against you. It's not noble, it's not elevated, you know, it's not elegant, and it's not godly. And I don't see the president as one who will spend his time avenging, who is on a mission, who is on a revenge mission against anybody. You know, but in this case, I think it's just probably that the chairman was occupying a very sensitive position, a very critical one, and it didn't just stop at what happened in the primary stage, but of course he also made a very critical comment in the build-up to the National Assembly election when he said he was not aware of those who have been nominated. You know, that was slightly contemptuous of presidential interest, you know, in a situation where he probably should have understood that the president vetted those who were matched, you know. So that was contemptuous of the presidency, or the president, so to say. And we may not also take it for granted that the president felt slighted by it. But of course, when you're the president of a nation like this, there are people around you, loyalists, who are ready to fight causes for you, causes that you probably may not even be interested in fighting. And they can use proxies. Of course, they can come out fighting it using different styles, tactics, and strategy in a bid to probably satisfy you. And at the end, when you hear about it, you may just want to look or stay askance and enjoy it. You know, we're talking about the president here. Overall, I think the whole thing will settle down shortly.
Let's quickly close on this, if both of you can actually weigh on this. He gave credit to INEC instead of CBN on the cash crunch. That was novel.
Well, a lot of people were complaining about the cash crunch when it happened, and even the president said that it was designed to cause problem for him for his candidacy. Just a quick point on the APC again on what is happening. The party needs to be careful. So the APC is a merger of core northern party and the Southwest, and then before it became a national party. So they need those two blocks, you know, which are the base of the party. They need to keep them happy. So whatever is happening today, the president is an astute politician, as we have seen from his time in Lagos State. So most times he knows what he's doing. At the same time, they need to be careful. And then the tribunal is still on. Nobody knows what's going to happen. It could be 50-50. So it's going to be interesting days ahead.
And closing time for you, Professor Adeniyi.
Yeah, interesting times ahead, but I think we'll survive it.
It's a good place of survival for us to leave it on a very long journey of having the APC all through today. I'd like to thank you for your time, Professor Adeniyi and Dr. Constance Ikokwu. Well, that's it for this edition, excuse me, of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. It's goodbye and thanks for watching.